Well, I guess we can start on the E9th that everybody's the most familiar with. It's the standard E9th tuning. Over here on the left knee left, I have the raising of the two E's. And on the left knee right, I have the lowering of the E's. One thing I could say about that right now is a lot of people that have the raising and lowering of the same string, sometimes they'll have it the raise over here and the lower over here. I think it's a bad idea to hook a setup like that up in that particular way. You should always have a raise and lower on the same knee, because the minute you put it over here, you lose a combination that you could create through your other knee and that particular lever. So, because you never use these two in combination, the raise and lower. So, if you do have any particular raise and lower but same string, try to keep it on the same knee, and then you can have your other knee free for all these other combinations. For example, if those two were on this left knee, I wouldn't be able to get that particular chord. My right knee left lowers the G sharp or the sixth string a whole tone. So in conjunction. I can go from a C chord, pedals down to an F, and with this lowering of the E's and the G sharp, I have the G chord there in the same position. Laziness probably has a little something to do with that, but it also works. It works well anyway. So that takes care of left knee right knee left. Right knee right, I have this, the second string lowering a half and a whole tone. And I have a vertical lever that lowers the V's, which is 5 and 10, 1/2 tone. If you're in the key of C and want to use that, it'll throw you into D7. I guess that's about it for the ninth. On the C6, I have what is known as the regular Nashville setup, from pedal 5 through pedal 8. Nobody seems to know what to do with the fourth pedal in Nashville anyway, so it's liable to be anything. My particular change, I raised the middle E in the tuning a half tone. I lower the G with the fifth pedal, raise the F a half tone, and the C up a whole tone. And pedal 6 raises the second E, lowers the sixth E, half tone. And with 5 and 6 in combination, you can get a diminished chord. Or what's known as a raised ninth chord. Pedal 7 raises the third and the fourth a whole tone for a major seventh or a major ninth. Pedal 8 lowers a tone and a half. The 10th string and the 7th, I believe, a half tone, and 9 lowers a half tone. And that gives what's known as a raised 9th chord also. 7th with a raised 9th. That's what we refer to as the barroom pedal. Where when you hit it, it goes barroom. That's the way it was told to me. And I also have knee levers that, let's see, my right knee raises the 3rd string, which is the C string, a half tone. Throws it into an A7 from that particular spot on the tuning. Or if you use it with pedal 5, it gives you the old C6 sound of or the new C6. And let's see, what else does it do? Oh, it also, when you use it with pedal 6, it will give you an augmented. And I do use a D on the outside, or the top string. I've taken the high G off. I took that off, I guess, in about 1969, I think. So it does start with a D string instead of your normal high G. That's good for chords. Pardon me? Oh yeah, it's also good for single string notes. Oh, are we? Okay. I'm getting ahead of the, I'm jumping the gun here. Excuse me. Okay, and the knee lever, I have 2 extra knee levers here in the middle of the body that lowers and raises the A string, which is the 4th string. That will give you a 7th in a natural position. Or when you use it with pedal 5, it gives you a kind of an augmented 11th. Combined. Or we have the C and the D chord put together. I don't know what to call that, but I just found that, and I really like that. That's going to get me away from using that thing all the time. Well, that's about it for the knee lever.
Oh, my. Jerry, do you think that the guy would like to know what the A, B, and C pedals on the Unite? I think all you talked about was the knees. Do you think it wants the A, B, and C pedals too?
Well, my A raises the 5 and 10 whole tone. Some have it reversed, or Mine is reversed to some. The second, the B pedal raises the third and sixth half tone. And the third I don't ever use, but it raises the fourth and fifth a whole tone.
Okay, what steps do you go through when you're tuning? Please demonstrate on E9 and C6. I told you that's going to take up a half hour.
I usually get the proper E from a tuning, these new electronic tuners. And then from that point, right now, when I record, I'm using the tuner straight up on 440 all the way. I'm tuning these. See how sharp that sounds to the ear? That's actually with the tuner. That's not. But I do tune sharp because recordings anymore, there are so many synthesized sounds and DX7 keyboards that you have to deal with, that if you don't get somewhere closer to them than you ordinarily do, why it's really bad. So I do tune 440 all the way in the studio, and somehow it gets lost and absorbed in the music, or you don't even hear it. Any intonation at all works really well. Everything, all the way. Once you get started, you can't stop. There's no doing it partially. So, that's a little flat. Well, I'm working in smaller groups that perhaps doesn't have a keyboard. You don't have to be, it's better and more pleasing to the ear to kind of tune it down a little bit. But I even tune it sharp to the ear when I work that way, because it does help your overall chord changes when you, especially these two strings. That's the one that everybody has problems with. And it kind of helps eliminate that problem somewhat. But, like I say, when I'm working with a smaller group and don't necessarily want it up that high, or with the keyboard, I will tune, first get my E from the tuner, and then tune harmonically. Till the beats disappear. Hopefully it's in tune. Even though that is out to the ear, it's still, it gets kind of lost when you hit a triad. It's not so much, it's not as noticeable as you would think. Get these two strings, these thirds going together, the 1 and a 3. You hear it. The minute you hit a triad, it seems to disappear somewhat. it's with a keyboard. But yeah, it sounds like it's in tune.
The way you're tuning at the moment, buddy, is it what we call temper tuning, or what we heard as temper?
I don't know. There are all kind of charts and theories on temper tuning, but I don't know enough musical terminology to know whatever the keyboard is.
It's 440 then?
Yes.
All the way through?
Mm-hmm. That would be the best way to put it. I just tune 440 with everything. But that is more in the studio than any place else.
If the piano wasn't here, would you tune differently?
Well, I would bring the thirds down to where when I hit a triad, it would disappear. It would still be a little sharp, but that's the way I used to tune. Just bring that down a little bit where it's in tune with the triad, and it will still be sharp. That third will be a little sharp to the ear, but it will be closer to where it's supposed to be than it will be if you just tune by your ear.
There's a question that's related to it. A question from John B. Moore. When you temper tune, do you work from a standardized chart? Or when obtaining a new instrument, do you tune two strings next to one another to get the beats? As you well know, under normal tuning, one string beats against the other next to it.
Well,
Yeah, I think so too. That was related there. I think it pretty well.
I think the 440 tuning with the tuner kind of explains itself. And the other part about, no matter which way I tune, if I tune with the chord tuner or slightly sharp to the ear in smaller groups, I still end up tuning the beats out. Once I establish my E, I tune them out harmonically. And that's just getting this string with that and the fifth with the first and whatever. And it usually turns out quite well. Oh yes, we do have something I call harmonic tune-up. It is for the E9 tuning, and it explains all that in this particular chord. Well, it's a sheet that shows you the harmonic positions, and then you have your cassette that you listen to and kind of leads you along and tells you where to go with each string and on what fret harmonically.
Would you like to play one then?